Hey there, scoop up some fun with me this 4th of July with these ice cream cone cookies. Hi, I'm Leslie with Leslie's Cookies and Treats, and if you love decorating sugar cookies or you want to learn how, you're in the right place. Let's decorate together. So let's get to decorating. This 4-piece ice cream cone cookie puzzle is super fun to decorate, and you can grab the cutter on my website. I'll leave a link in the description. And let's start off with the red cone. I'm going to grab my royal icing in about a 15-second consistency and slowly outline the cookie and then go ahead and flood it in with the same icing. And because my icing is a 15-second consistency, I can go right up to the edge and not worry that it's going to overflow the cookie. So just go ahead and flood in the entire cookie, and then we'll use our scribe to smooth the icing out and shape it. And once the cookie is all smooth, I have these little itty bitty mini star sprinkles, and I'm just going to sprinkle a few on the top and then carefully place a few extra ones just to even it out and make it look the way I want it to look. And we'll let that dry for a while we come down here and do the same thing with the middle cookie. I'm outlining the cookie with a 15-second royal icing, and then I'm actually going to flood this one in with about a 5 to 8 second icing. I had some icing left over that I wanted to use up, and I'll use my scribe to get it out to the edge so it doesn't overflow the cookie. Then I'm also going to let that one dry while I move on down to the blue cookie at the bottom and do the same process. We'll outline and flood this in, and this icing is about a 15-second consistency. And as you noticed, as I got to the edges, I kind of did a little loop-de-loop on the inside of the cookie to change direction of my outline. And you can do that, or you can touch down and lift up your cookie bag and continue going around. And once you've got it all flooded in, use your scribe to settle it down, and then move on to the last cookie, which is the cone, and you're going to outline and flood that in. And guess what? My icing is a 15-second consistency. And if you don't know what that is, I'll leave a link for that video on how you can make a 15-second royal icing consistency in the description. So once you've got this cookie mostly flooded in, I'm just going to use my scribe here to get the icing all the way out to the edge. For whatever reason, I didn't go to the edge on this one. And that's a good practice whenever you are concerned that your icing might overflow. And now that all of my cookies have had a little bit of a chance to dry, I'm going to come back in and add another layer at the bottom of the red scoop of ice cream. It doesn't matter if this layer is smooth, I'm just going to fill it all in here and then let that dry for a little bit. So I'll come down and do the same thing to the white and the blue. And then let's go ahead and make the stripes on our cone. So I'm using again my 15-second icing, and I'm just touching down, lifting up, and then pulling the line across the cone, and then stop squeezing and touching it down at the other side. And then let's do that in the opposite direction as well, so that we have a classic ice cream cone look. So touch down, lift up, go across, and touch down at the other side. And you might want to wipe your piping bag off in between each line. And if you have any start and stop points at the beginning or ends of your line, just grab your scribe, or you can even grab a paintbrush and smooth those out. So now the bottom parts of all of the scoops should have had time to crust over, and now I'm just going to grab my paintbrush and make some indents and kind of push in all of this. I'm trying to give this cone the look it would have if you had an actual scoop of ice cream from your local ice cream store. So just go ahead and dent in this icing until it looks the way you want it to. Clean off your paintbrush and then go ahead and do that on the next cookie. And continue on until all 3 of these scoops are done. If your icing is still too wet to use your paintbrush to do this, it'll blend all back together and you'll just need to wait for it to dry a little bit longer. And if your icing is already too dry and you can't dent it like this, just put a squiggle of icing over the top and then go ahead and do the same thing. And then when you finish with all of them, go ahead and give them a little squirt with some glitter spray, edible glitter spray, and then these cookies are done. They're a super cool summer treat and perfect for the 4th of July. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, please be sure to hit that subscribe button. I have new tutorials all of the time. Let's decorate together.